Good evening and welcome to Zoom In on a Fresh Conversation. It is Monday night all over again, and we're so glad you could be here with us. My name is Donna Gray Banks. I am your host. And this evening, our special guest is Rich Holley, who is the author of children's book, Can I Have a Dog? Rich, welcome to Zoom In on a Fresh Conversation.
Thank you, thank you, Donna. Thank you for having me. It's awesome. I just look forward to the opportunity of just spreading the word of children's financial literacy. I'm having a ball doing it.
Thank you. Zoom In on a Fresh Conversation is brought to you by Eilish Diamonds LLC, Lee's Press and Publishing Company, Milton McCulloch, author of Love and Emancipation, and a Dante production, who will feature dueling saxophones on July 16th at 2 p.m. at Cinematique in the beautiful city of Daytona Beach. Please come join us 2 to 4. Dueling Saxes, it's going to be amazing. And of course, the Fresh Book Festival, which is in February 2024. And the dates are 22, 23. Please join us. It's at the end of February. It's going to be a wonderful 3 days of poetry, films, books, workshops. Just come out. We're going to start registration in August, which is right around the corner. So please look out for that. If you have any questions for Rich, please leave them in the chat room. And this conversation is being recorded. Thank you, Rich, for being here this evening. I just want you to take a moment to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, hey everybody, my name is Rich Holley. I am a retired Navy air traffic controller. I've actually, I've been this, I'd say about 3 years now, putting my very first book together in a full series. Married for 26 years to my lovely wife, Lisa, and 2 wonderful kids, 32 and 24. Wow. Boy.
It's nice when they get grown, right?
Yeah. Out the house. my son, I think my son put it best. He said, Dad, no matter where you go, you're only a cash app away. So
and isn't that the truth? I mean, that is that whoever made that, and I think that guy's dead now, actually.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Murdered, yeah. But that was the best thing for these millennials that ever could have happened.
It makes our life easier and harder.
It does. Easier and harder at the same time, you know. It's like, Mom, I know you got $20 on your Cash App. Really? How do you know that? So, yeah, but it you know what? It's nice. It's nice to see that you've done what you were supposed to do as a parent, right?
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it really does. And I appreciate your map because it's a real map. And thank you very much, because there are a lot of maps out there that aren't real.
That's true.
Right, they do not show the actual sizes. So thank you for that. Yeah. So tell the audience why you felt financial literacy was a great topic for children.
Well, I've always looked at finance, and coming from a mother who's a retired superintendent coordinator, a whole family of educators. The thing that I always felt strongly about is that those days of having pensions are gone. Yeah. And kids really need to know more about financial literacy. And because when our parents were growing up, or when we were growing up, our parents, they had a stable or somewhat stable retirement plan. And as long as you went to school, got a good job, you were able to rely on your pension, and then Social Security and your pension is what you were typically told that you would live on. And it was okay. It's not the same nowadays.
No.
That those days are gone. So even in the military, you have to put in some of your own money in to fund your retirement. So a lot of things have changed. And I've just seen so many young people, even older people, seasoned people, I like to call it.
Yeah.
They're in financial straits now, and it's only because of their financial habits. So if you were taught good financial habits when you were a child, then the odds of you having better financial habits when you're an adult are high. But if you're not being taught, then you end up being in that position of you're working and seeing that person at 65 and 70 years old working at McDonald's and stuff. And when you see it, I guarantee you they're not there just because they want to be there.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Because at one point, the retirements were matching you dollar for dollar
Right.
for a certain percentage, right? And then, once they found that corporate found out that that wasn't working for them, and that
And
clearly went down the tubes, right? So there was also a Florida state retirement, which they don't do anymore because
mhm,
that was a certain percentage of whatever you put in, which was really, really good. And
right,
those people who are under that umbrella probably made out really well. But anybody past that, not so much, right?
not much at
Yeah.
all.
And so, was there a young person in your life that inspired you to write the book by any chance?
Me.
You.
So, unfortunately, I lost my father when I was 16 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and I was given my inheritance when I was 18.
Oh,
So my mother, God bless her, I told her, I said, Mom, this is never a hit on you. It's just what the times were. So she gave me my entire inheritance of $30,000 at 18 years old. So I'm about to go to college. I'm playing basketball, and now I have $30,000. Now I think I'm rich.
right.
It's like it's not just my name. I'm like I got money. If I would have had one person say, Rich, you know what? Let's take $10,000 and put this over here and blow your other 20. Go have a good time. Enjoy it. But let's just take this portion and put it here. Back in 1989, when all this went down, it was
Wow.
a uh, Nike was 94 cents,
Right.
Apple was 25 cents, and Walmart was $5. If someone would have just gave me a little bit of knowledge and put this over here, I'd have a couple of $1 million sitting in the bank right now, and it'd be a different
But
dynamic.
did you have people surrounding you who knew that? I mean, probably
I
not.
didn't.
Right.
I knew of one person that was one of my mother's old friends that made, I think, $1 million in the stock market back then, but no one actually put me in touch with them. And but at that time, I was like, hey, I'm going to the car dealership. I'm going to the clothes shop. All my friends were around me, and of course, until it was all gone. So,
Right. Exactly.
so my
We don't. None of us want to talk about the money that we've blown, right?
you know,
We just do not want to do that. But yeah, I certainly do understand. Mhm.
and so that I know, and I was being in the financial world. I worked with Mass Mutual for a couple of years as a financial specialist, and seeing what happens. People pass away every day. And those stories that I had personally happen every day. And so if someone's not there to actually give you some guidance and actually teach you, you're going to fall into what I did. So my goal is to not let that happen to anybody else. So
Mm.
if I could start teaching kids about finance as soon as they're able to read, they'll be better off.
So wanting to write a book and writing a book is two very different things. So
Absolutely.
walk us through your publishing experience.
So I started with obviously my idea, put it on paper. And my wife kept telling me, would you just do it, do it, do it? And that's why I said for 3 years I was putting it together. Really, I wanted to fund it myself because I didn't want to have investors. I didn't want to actually start asking people for loans or taking loans out for it. So I put the manuscript together. Then I talked to a couple authors that I knew, and then they gave me a slew of different uh, publishers, and oh, you'll try this person, they'll like this one, until I found the one that I actually really hit it off with, and that's Julia Royston for BK Publishing, BK Royster Publishing. Awesome, awesome people to work with. She's really just she took my ideas and told me this is how we can get this done.
Mm,
And from that point on, it went from June of 2022. I put everything in works. And then as far as my illustrations, I actually went on Fiverr. And
really? Yeah.
I,
Okay.
I went on Fiverr and found my illustrator. And after going, I went to, I think, three until I found where we actually hit it off, and they actually gave me exactly what I was looking for. Now, mind you, they're in India, so now at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm up proofing illustrations.
Right. But
And
I guess economically, it's not a bad deal.
it's not a bad deal when you find the right one.
Mm-hmm.
There's thousands of people on Fiverr, and I know there's a lot of horror stories on there too, also. But God has blessed me to be with the right one, and now.
So you're often are they? Is this person going to do the second one, or already has? Okay.
So he's done the second one. He's going to do the third one. He's going to do the fourth one. Because the Adventures of Buck Dollar is started out, and he started the first one, and they look perfect. I'm just going to let him finish out the rest of the series. But
Did you give him credit on the book as the illustrator? Or?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I give him credit on the book.
Uh-huh.
But the beauty about them is that they are paid one time. I pay them for the illustrations. There's no royalties involved. Here it is. Here, give me my product. Here's your money. And that way, I can sell all the books I want, and I don't have to worry about anything. I just give them the credit because their names on it.
Well, listen, the credit is good enough. I mean, really, when you're talking about someone who's doing illustrations for children's books and the name is on and if you sell, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of copies, then when someone's looking for it's right there. That's you can't beat that kind of advertising.
No, it's a win-win.
So when we write novels, I write novels, Janice writes novels, and Patricia writes memoirs, more or less, of her life. But those are easy to write because you can go on and on and on and develop the story and bring in characters. When you're talking about writing a children's book, you have to be very succinct. Every page has to be very succinct and match. I don't know whether you did it above the line or the next page. I always want someone to do that turn the page thing again, because as a little person, that was the best thing, turn the page, right? And so how hard was it for you to say, here's the picture and here's what I want to say?
So here, I'll give you a brief. So here's the book. And then here's the picture. And then by actually looking at the picture, you could tell what's going on with the story. It's a sunny summer Saturday afternoon, and Rich is looking out the window. She's looking out the window. Then the next one would be suddenly he sees the ice cream truck, and his friends are chasing the truck down the street. So literally,
yeah.
What's happening? You can tell what's going on in the book just by the pictures. And I did it that way because one, that was me. I'm in New York. I hear the ice cream truck. I'm running down the street. I'm yelling for my mom.
Yeah, give me 50 cents or whatever it is.
You hear them.
Yeah.
So this one, it just resonated with me because I did pretty much everything in this book. I searched through my room and looked all over for money, didn't have any. And then I remember my father always saying, spend some, save some, so you always have some. And I didn't do it. And so now I'm stuck because every time I got money, I spent it. And now I really want something and I don't have it. So the moral of that story is spend some, save some, so you always have some. And that's really why this one, to me, it wasn't as hard. I think the hardest thing was just perfecting it because I'm a type A personality. My wife keeps saying, it's fine, leave it alone. It's fine, leave
it alone. Yeah, the simpler the better when you're talking about children who are 3 to 5. Is that where it's going?
This one is more from about 5 to 8.
5 to 8, okay.
5 to 7, 5 to 8. This way, those that are learning how to read, I made the font big enough so they can actually identify the letters.
And for us, so we can read it to them.
Thank you very much. Seasoned folks, as they say.
Yes.
It's an easy read. It's a fun read, but it makes the point. And I just about a month ago, I went to a guidance school and I read the books to the kids in the morning. And about 3, 4 o'clock, I usually come back and I have Buck and I do a book signing for the parents. And there's one child came up and he said, "Oh, Dad, I want a book." And he said, "I don't have any money right now." He said, "Well, the book says if you would have spent some and saved some, you would have had some. So if you would have saved some money, you could have bought me a book." I literally signed the book and gave it to that boy.
Absolutely. Because he learned something.
He learned
Yes,
something.
he
But,
learned something.
but I think what brought me most joy about it, I read that book to the kid around 10 o'clock in the morning,
And he
10:30.
remembered.
And he remembered at 4 o'clock, 4:30, that that's what I told him. And he got it. So he earned the book from my
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
that's the beauty behind this for me. So it's even the next book is Save My Buck. So it
Yeah,
goes save.
let's talk about the progression, unpack
Sure,
those other books. Go ahead.
sure. So the next book is called Save My Buck. And then now that's Rich actually he's a little older, but then that one takes on more like a Toy Story theme where they it's just everything comes to life. So Buck
Mm.
actually comes to life. And then the coins come to life. So the coins, the names of each coin are the names of the presidents on the coin.
Oh, okay.
So I'm
Nice.
teaching without really teaching.
Right.
So the kids learn who's actually on the money. And then of course, money's lost all over the house. And that's just a fun thing. They're running around looking for money. And Rich finally actually they capture all the money and without giving everything away. It's a lot of fun. That to me, that was the fun book. Uh, the next book after that is Invest My Buck. And
Mm.
now Rich is a little older. He's in he's
Middle
leaving.
school.
He's leaving high school, headed to
Mhm.
college. His mother tells him that he has to go get a job. And then he gets his first job and he asks his mom, I get paid $10 an hour. I work 20 hours. How come my check's only not $200? He said, because it's called tax gobblers. So now because in the book, everything is a gobbler. So there's a gobbler is the mean guy that's always taking the money. So taxes are mean. So
Yeah.
so with that one, it's more he's learning about what happens when you get a job and learning about the taxes. And then he puts Buck in the bank, and then Buck takes on another story and he learns how he is invested, and now he's a $20 bill. So now
Mm.
he's learned that when in inflation and taxes, he learns that how he grows in the bank. And I did it all on a fifth grade level of understanding.
Okay.
The reason why I did it that way is because our newspapers are all written on a fifth grade level of reading.
Absolutely.
It's just that people don't read them. So
Still do. I'm a newspaper reader. But I think I'm a rare breed. I think I'm a rare breed. Yeah.
I did it that way, so it's an easy read, and it's easily understood. And if you teaching with color and it's vibrant and the kids love it, they'll learn just by because they're going to look at this, they're going to read the book, they're going to look at the cartoon that's coming, it's always going to be in their face because
Mm.
and the more that these kids just keep hitting that YouTube or whatever and keep looking at it, it's going to resonate. It's going to resonate just like rap music or any other music. The more you hear it, the more you know. And then you know the thing like the back of your hand. That's what I'm
Yeah,
doing.
like our little 45s with the little thing in the middle, and you play it over and over
And,
and
oh,
over
yeah,
and over. Right.
exactly.
And that's how you remember. I mean,
Exactly.
repetition and
It's
music.
repetition. Right.
Yeah.
And
And
then
go ahead.
the last book is Retire My Buck. So
Mm.
and so now He's older, he's married, Rich thinks differently about money than his wife does. One likes to spend, well, not the stereotype, but I had to make it in a so my wife likes to spend money as well. So but I set it up that way, and then Buck is actually he's now a $50 bill, and he learns he's in a 401k now, and it's like a portion of the story. He wants to get out, and then there's a big penalty guy, and I made him like a
The 20% penalty guy. Yeah.
exactly. So I said,
Yeah.
he says, Buck, you can't get out the family. It's like you never get out the family. He said,
Not
because
without a penalty. Yeah.
if you do, you'll penalize Rich. And then he learns that, oh, okay, I'm in a 401k. This is for my job. If I leave before Rich turns a certain age, then Rich is going to get penalized. So it's stuff like that that I put in.
Here's the beauty of that. Then you can start with his kids, and it's different. Then you can go to the WhatsApps and all that, and still do the financial piece,
right.
but integrate the newer stuff. Nice.
That's that's the progression of everything. Then once the series is done, I'm going to do a cartoon for each book, and then Lord willing, we're going to put the whole thing together and turn it into a motion picture.
Nice.
So that's the progression and the plan for the Venture of Buck Dollar.
So we have several reading programs for the summer. I don't know whether you're aware of it or not, but the state of Florida came way low on reading skill level, especially since the pandemic. And in our legacy communities, it's worse than ever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how would you, and we have a program called Reading Rangers, how would you be able to engage the children virtually? Like if they had the book and then you go ahead.
Well,
we're just giving some people some ideas for summer camp, because reading has got to be top level for the next 9 weeks for them to go on to classes in September and end of August. So
with that being said, obviously the first book is geared to like the kindergarten to second grade. So what's beauty is that Save My Buck is actually coming out by the end of the month, and that's geared to more of the 3rd through 5th grade. So that would be a really good reading book for them. And I still set it up the same way I did Can I Have a Dollar, where the pictures still actually identify what's going on with the story. So the pictures are going to be on one side, and then the words are going to be on the other. So this way they can still see it, but they're learning, and then they read and they'll have a better understanding. So doing it virtually, I can always read the book, or actually I'm working on a activity book for each book. So they'll learn matching and things of that nature, just understanding money behind it. But I would love to just put something together for the kids.
Right. Here's the thing. So when you're talking about summer camp, the thing that we're going to do is 300 children. You can't do that in this kind of arena, right? So how many children do you believe would be able to be part of that group? With 10 apiece?
I'd say
every hour or so?
10, maybe even 20.
Okay.
I think 20, I think 20 would be a safe number where I can keep them engaged.
And what are we talking, 20 minutes? 20 children, 20 minutes. Tops.
20 minutes.
Because they can't really, after 20 minutes, they're kind of,
right. And that's why I actually have when I do presentations and I read the books to the kids in a big setting, like if I go to a school, I actually have all the pictures, all the illustrations on my phone, and I actually airdrop them to the projector.
Okay.
So I'm reading the book, but the kids are engaged into the projector.
Right. Well, we would have you on a full screen, right? Like a movie screen.
Right.
Right.
So
okay.
What I would do, instead of me being there, I would substitute me for the actual pictures of the book.
Okay.
Because the kids will be more the kids will be more in tune with seeing the pictures, vice
Right.
me.
Right. Okay.
So I would start out with me and introduce myself, so on and so forth, and then I'll bring the book out, and then it would be, this is what you see in the screen.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then as I read, the pages just flip when I use my phone. And I did that at St. John's Country Day School, and it was flawless. I actually did that at Palm Terrace Elementary in Daytona.
Oh, I love Palm Terrace Elementary.
That I
Yeah. Karen Troutman is amazing.
I, I had a ball there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Charlene, actually, my cousin, she's a Delta, and
Okay, so
they
yeah.
actually they sponsor children. I see you. I see you. I see you.
Yeah. So
They
wonderful. Yeah, Palm Terrace is one of my favorite. I mean, I like them all, but I think that as far as engagement with younger people, she does a really, really good job. So she has a good base behind it too. And everybody can do a good job if they have the base behind. You know what I mean?
That's usually how it works.
You can build a great house if the base is good, right?
Of course, exactly.
So, so everybody's on the same level playing field. So for those of you who are looking for a summer reading program, this would be perfect for your summer camps, 20 children apiece, big screen. Mr. Holley comes to visit. They get to read the book to him and he gets to read the book to them. Please consider it for your summer camp. We only have 9 weeks to make a difference while these children are entering into their next level of school. So you essentially were working, and still are working. When did you find time? When did you find
Let's see, I get off of work. I was getting off of work around 6. Then I
Yeah.
have to cook because my wife and I, she does all the cleaning, I do the cooking. So obviously when I came off of work, I still have to cook. And then I'd say around 11, 12, I'm in my office, right where I'm at right now, just where I'm at. And then I'll get the phone call at about 2 in the morning. Would you come to bed?
Yeah, yeah. Time, yeah.
I'm like,
And
you
so
get
that's kind of how you did it. How long did it take?
the first book, it took really about 4 or 5 months. 4 or 5 months of just really putting it together. As you would think, it's a 32-page book. It's only about 60. You could be being a writer, it takes a minute just to get one page down.
Right. Exactly. So try to do 250 pages. It really just
Exactly. So I know
yeah.
my lane.
So how did you know what the young man was going to look like?
To be honest, I didn't.
Okay.
So when I gave my description to my illustrator, I sent him a picture of myself,
Okay.
and I said, I don't want him to look exactly like me, but I want him to be a little lighter. In the actual book, I want it to be multicultural. So I want multicultural kids actually running behind the ice cream truck, and they're all part of it because it's not just an African American book. It's a book.
It's a
It's a,
financial
it's a
literacy.
financial literacy book. It's
Right.
not. I've been asked and said, "Oh, Rich, that's a great African." They said that's a great book for us. And like, no, it's a great book for everybody.
Right.
It just, I literally had someone ask me, well, why didn't you put a girl up front on the cover? I said, because I'm a guy. I said the book's about, so that's why.
Yeah, right. I mean, we do have male protagonists. There's allowed to be.
You
Yeah.
know, I'm like, what do you want
Exactly.
me to do here?
Exactly. I
But
think that
I
that
was,
putting, other um ethnic races in the book is really something you should do because financial literacy is for everybody, right?
right, it's for everybody.
Mhm.
But I was smart enough to make it pink cover. So the girls will still like the book.
Yes, exactly.
So I
Exactly.
thought about all of this.
Right, right, right.
And I had a really my publisher, marketing director. We just said, hey, this is how this will attract everybody. And my pastor told me, he said, "Oh, this is a great theologian, and people spend years putting this book together and selling it, and you write a 32-page colored book about money and a boy, and everybody wants it."
Exactly. Because it's simple.
It is.
The rest of the books are too convoluted. And if you're not into finances anyway, you get to page 20 and say, ugh, I'm
Like,
just not doing this.
it's
I'm not
not
doing it.
it's not interesting.
It's
Well,
not
it's
interesting.
important. By all means, it's important.
Right.
But if it doesn't hold your attention, then you're just going to put it, and it's going to be a paperweight somewhere. So this
Yeah.
this was ideal for me because I was able to teach, and the kids love it. And it's short. It's long enough and short enough to keep their attention, but they understand the meaning behind the book, and that's all that matters.
So you've had a history of being essentially involved in business and selling and corporate life. How do you get down to children? I mean, how did you make that? Because that is from here to here.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
So how that actually happened was what I thought about. I thought about myself being 16, but I I thought about the fact of people learning at such a young age. So if you're learning how to read, my friend had a cat in a hat book.
I love it.
Love it, right? Nothing wrong with it. But there was nothing, and I searched for something that dealt with finance at a young age. I didn't see it. So if I could, if you're just starting to learn how to read, and I could teach you the basics about saving money in a fun way, it makes my friends' jobs easier who are financial advisors now,
Absolutely.
because they have these kids that actually have a habit of saving money. Now you can teach them where to put the money, and then they won't stop paying on their life insurance policies or their IRAs that they're putting money into, because they have a habit of doing it. Trying to teach somebody to do that at 40 or 50 years old, even though they may sit with you and say, yes, this is a great idea, they'll do it for about 6, 7 months. And then after that, they're going to stop because something's going to come up and they're like, I don't really need this right now. I need to take care of this. The mindset is, if you teach them as a child, they become better adults. And then all my friends that are financial advisors will thank me later.
How do you think about children dealing with the banking institutions? Is there another way for them to, as opposed, go ahead.
The banking institutions are what they're institutions.
Right, exactly. And who wants to be in an institution?
It's where the banks were putting their focus on, because they know that kids are now all about the internet, green dot cards, and just press the button and then you can buy all the stuff online, not really having any common knowledge that somebody has to put money in that bank on that card for you to do that. So to me, I think they may come after me, but I think it's a mistake giving cards to children.
Oh, me too. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because they have no concept of money. So if you don't give them a concept of money and you're just giving them a card, well, guess what's going to happen? They're going to use the card, then they're going to overdraft on the card, and then the bank's going to get more money, and then the parents are going to be more upset. So I would think the idea would be more of a back to the basics, and that's what I'm trying to present to our children. Let's get back to the basics. Our parents that have children that are 12 and under, instead of just giving them cards, just giving them money, give them a reason. You be their first teacher of money, even if you're not taught. You know, parents or children will do 80% of what you do, 20% of what you say. So if your child comes to you and gives you a kiss goodnight in your room, and they see that you have some type of chest or something on your bed, on your dresser, and you're putting money in it on a daily basis, just what, I don't care what it is, your change, whatever, you put it there, they're going to ask, what are you doing? And then they're going to emulate what you do. Just because you say save money doesn't mean that they're going to do it. But if they see that you're doing it, then they're typically going to do what you do.
So I give every newborn a bank. I don't give you
Yep.
clothes. I don't give you rattles. I give you a bank, little
Yep.
bank, and put money in it. So it's on the dresser, wherever the baby's room is, right?
Right.
And I think that that's something, and a bank was hard to find,
Yeah, they are.
right?
They,
It was in the corner in the dark in the back of the W place, right? And I was so surprised because when I said I really wanted a bank for a newborn, everybody was scratching their head like, what? You
they
want a
don't
bank,
they
right?
don't understand it.
So I'm just saying, I think Mr. Dollar might be nice as a little bank,
Yeah. My
for a gift for a book and a bank.
that's that's coming. What I do, I have the dollar coins
Mm-hmm.
I got from the bank.
Mm-hmm.
So when I do my book signings and the kids actually come and I sign my name, I sign their name in the book, and I give them a dollar coin.
Oh,
The
nice.
first book is Can I Have a Dollar? So
Right.
I buy the book, I'm
Yeah.
going to give you your first dollar,
Nice.
but by putting it as a coin, for you to spend that, it's going to be harder for you to spend that than it would be if I just gave you a dollar bill. So it kind of resonates. So my wife's been telling me about getting, thank you.
A bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for every newborn, every like 1 to 5 and 1 to 6, I give them a bank for their birthday. And my son, who's he's kind of a little tightwad now, which is fine
Mm-hmm.
because in his bank he can only spend half of what's in it.
Right.
If you got the bank, right? Let's count it out. Half you can blow, half stays in the bank.
Yeah.
Half you can blow, half stays in the bank, right? And that was the way back then, because I didn't really know about financial literacy like we do
Right.
now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that
Right.
was a good way to get him started into saving. So it's a great idea. I hope that you do implement that because that little dollar thing as a bank would be really, really cute, you
That's
know?
it.
Yeah.
That's the next step.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Donna, I've been doing this for, this is what, June? So I've
Yeah.
only been doing this for 5 months.
Oh, I know. Yeah, yeah. I understand. I just want you to
I,
do everything at one time, right? I understand.
as
Yeah,
I say, I'm
I just
learning
think
as
it's a
I
great idea.
go,
Yeah.
but it's just getting faster, and I would say slowly but surely. But I can tell you, nothing's been slow since January. So I'm
I
excited.
think people my age who have grandchildren are thinking, okay, listen, whatever financial kind of faux pas we made with our children, let's see
Mhm.
if we can do a little better with our grandkids, right?
Right.
And so I think that's where we're at in that instance. So I'm out of questions. Does anybody have a question? Tam is our financial person. She is into financing and making sure
Okay.
people head
I
the
Um,
right way on their businesses. Go ahead.
that part. No, this was really good. I'm sorry I got in late. I love the conversations because regrettably, for me, I didn't learn smart money management until I was like in my mid 30s. And that was like after both my parents died. And I was like, oh, okay, it just got real. I don't have no fallback. I better make smart moves, kind of things, right? And so I love this conversation. I strongly believe in it because once it started clicking for me, I started instilling those things into my son. And going back to the bank thing, I have a black box that I keep, things in and money, whatever have you, right? And about 2 years ago, because I save $5 bills, I have this compulsion where I save $5 bills throughout the year. And at the end of the year, I actually have a couple $100. And so when we talk about our children, imitating what we do, my son does the same thing with dollar bills. you
There you
know. But a few years ago, I had a couple hundred, and I went and bought black boxes for my son and a few of his best friends that I saw grow up, because everybody's in their 20s now, you know. But it was like, if I didn't ever teach you nothing, you know what I mean? I want you to understand that not all of your money resides in a bank. You need
Right.
some liquid assets, you know what I mean, and so forth
go.
and so on. And
Exactly.
and once more, you know, I believe that it's really our duty to teach this to individuals, to children, and you know, a lot of these children, it wasn't taught to them, so they was like, "Thanks, Auntie Tam," and you know, he's like
Right.
6'4", you know,
Right.
thanks, Miss T, you know what I mean, and so forth. But you know, it was that moment that it really kind
Wait,
of sinked in. Yeah, you know, that we are not having these conversations,
Right.
shame on us.
Well, you know what you know, and if your parents aren't taught, and then their parents didn't teach them, it's just a vicious cycle. No one's going to know, and
mm,
so someone has to be able to break the mold and say, "All right, stop. This is what needs to happen." And in our community, it's unfortunately it doesn't happen enough. So I took it upon myself, and this has just it's been more fun than anything else. And I just
I would,
enjoy doing it.
when we put this up on YouTube, because it goes on YouTube in the next 30 minutes when it's over, can you send me a picture of Mr. Dollar?
Sure.
So that it can be your picture on YouTube and Mr. Dollar, and then the name of the book. I mean, I think it'll resonate to people to look at it if Mr. Dollar and your picture is on there, and then the picture of the book, right?
Sure.
Because it's not about Zoom in on a fresh conversation. It's about the book,
The
right?
book.
Yeah,
Yes. Please
about
buy the
people.
book.
Yeah, the book. And people listening to the conversation and finding out that you're open to do things during the summer.
Yes.
And if that is the case, how do they get in contact with you?
So it's really my email address is let's just use buck dollar. That's the best one. It's buck dollar BUCKDOLLAR 101.com.
Okay.
That's the that's the website.
Buckdollar101.com. Okay.
Yep. I used 101 because 101 is the first course in any
And
school.
it is 101. It is
101. So
definitely.
that's why I use buckdollar101.com.
And where can we buy the book online?
You can actually go to that website
Okay.
and you can buy it there.
Okay.
You'll get an autographed copy because I am still my own distribution. Uh,
Absolutely.
I still love going out and going to the post office and mailing out your book. I
I
enjoy.
know, it's so nice. I love it. I still love it. I still love signing out all of them.
I sit
Yeah.
here with. I have my pantry is filled with books, and my wife was like, "Okay, how many more we got to go?" They keep flying off the shelf, so I can't complain.
Here's the thing. When you were growing up, you never thought that you would be an author. There's just nothing that in our sphere of influence that would say this is something that you could do. So that's why I take such joy in putting my name in the book, because it wasn't something that anybody from my family ever thought that we could be a part of, right? So
Exactly.
it's wonderful. It is wonderful. Is there anything else you'd like to tell the audience before we go? We do ask you for a pearl of wisdom, but on the front side, but on the back side, is there anything else you'd like to tell
I
the audience?
I really just want to, from the bottom of my heart, the more kids that we can help, the better we're going to be. Because our children really are our future, no matter how you look at it. They're going to be our next senators, they're going to be our next governors, they're going to be our next presidents. We have to help them now.
Mm,
We don't, who will?
who
So
will? If we don't, who will? That's your pearl of wisdom for
that's
us.
the pearl of wisdom.
If we don't, who will, right?
Will.
Well, thank you, Mr. Holley. I look forward to getting Mr. Buck Dollar in
I
the
will.
email. So, what's his name? Is that Buck Dollar? Is that his
It's
name?
Buck. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's
Okay.
that's
Okay.
Buck.
Yeah, and that's so I'd love to put that up on YouTube so everybody could see it, and you'll
Sure.
make the AKAs very happy with that anyway.
I
So
trust me. I have a whole family of those too.
yeah, They said, oh, he wrote the book for us. Yeah.
The pink
I'm
and
not a
green.
Greek, so it really doesn't matter.
The pink and green is in
But
there.
yeah, pink and green is there. So thank you everybody for being here this evening. Thank you, Mr. Holley, for joining us. And to our audience, when the lights go out and the cell phone towers go down, all you have left is a flashlight and a good book. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you soon. Good night. Good night.
Bye.